I don't know where to begin, but I can't find my uncle. After Melissa hit Jamaica, he's been MIA. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. I am a meteorologist. I live in New York, but I am originally from Jamaica. So this is not just any storm that I cover. This has become personal. So when I first started to see this storm developing and headed for the Caribbean, I knew, okay, I gotta watch this, right? Leading up to the storm, of course, I called my uncle and I said, are you still in Jamaica? And he says, yeah, he's still at the house. Now, a little backstory. He is finishing up his and my mom's childhood home. It was originally made of wood. The last time I was there was, I think 2022. So I did take some video because they're redoing the house. And, it turns out to be a blessing because the house was made of wood. And he had not remodeled it and made it cement, I would even be more worried. So we all are still optimistic that he's okay. But when I look at just the devastation and knew it was coming, I have no words. So leading up to the storm, I called him. He says he's still in Jamaica. He's still working on the house. And I'm like, this storm is massive. It's worse than Gilbert. It's worse than last year he was there for Beryl. And I remember calling him, couldn't get him for weeks. And so I said, it's not like last year. It's not like Beryl. It's not like any storm we've seen. I said, it's not too late for you to head back to Florida, because he goes back and forth from Florida to Jamaica. And, we Jamaicans, we are known for being very resilient. But with this storm, our resilience, that was put to the test and saw it coming. So we went over everything he had and how he prepared. He said he boarded up the house. He put on the grills on the doors. If you don't know, the grills are like I guess what you call it, the safety bars, those bars that you see on the windows and stuff. So he did that, and he was waiting for a guy to come and do one more door, who didn't show up, but hopefully he did. I don't know. I said, but the flooding, I said, it's going to be a lot of rain. He said, oh no, man, me all right. And I said, that's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. It could get up to 40 inches. I said, Uncle Bibsy, this is not any kind of storm. He said, you remember, this is where me born and grow here. And I was like, okay. I said, but this is not something you've seen in your lifetime. He's adamant. He's like, me all right, man, me all right. Me have this, me have that. Spoke to him again because we spoke throughout. And I said, just checking in, how you doing and everything. And he's like, he just came back from the store because he said he have enough supplies. It's another thing we talked about, because he does take medication and, he has problems with his vision, which just adds to the concern. And just to give you a little bit more of a backstory is that the area he live in, it's not really developed. Like many of us, when we think of Jamaica, we think of the resorts, beautiful hotels, beautiful beaches, and it is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, because I grew up in Martha Braid, Trelawney, which was very, very hard hit as well. And so it is a beautiful place, and I go back as often as I can. But in the area that he and my mom is from, it's Westmoreland, which is put it this way, if you go to Jamaica, you can use your US dollars, no problem. You go to this part of Jamaica, Westmoreland, where they're from, they're not even taking American money. They're like, what am I gonna do with that? What is, you know what I mean? It's more like they only take Jamaican dollars, which gives you an idea of just how localized it is. In another factor, you know how you can't just go to the grocery store, stop and shop, Whole Foods. In a grocery shop over there, you can't just pick up your produce and thing. The good thing is that many of us, we live off the land, so we do have, you know, if we want to pick a breadfruit, we can pick breadfruit. If we want to pick mango, we can pick mango. We can, you know, ackee, we can make our ackee, and we can get some callaloo and put together a nice dish. You know, but you head into town like Savlamar, which is the nearest, you know, big town. You can go to Savlamar, you can get your stuff them for cook and things like that. Me I go to the street and me I go pick up something them for go make dinner. Me I go put on, you know, get some breadfruit from the back and, you know, whatever. So you can, you know, there are little shops that you can, but it's not the big brick and mortar stores that we're used to here. And to head into town is another challenge, because the roads, even before the storm, the roads them bud. The roads are all cracked up. After every just normal rainfall, there are gaping holes, there are potholes. And then when you have standing water on top of it, you try to walk through and it look like a little puddle. It look like something there that you can't just, even if you just step your foot in it, forget it. Then you throw on top of this kind of massive storm, there are gaping holes everywhere. I couldn't even turn on Instagram because I kept seeing these gaping holes. And I remember talking to my friend about it. Like, my concern is the rescue efforts, you know, by air, you know, I guess maybe you can get helicopter, I don't know. So just driving through these little towns, it's just not safe. So to get aid to people, that's, I think, a huge challenge. And I saw Wholeness there, the Prime Minister, and he was there to assess the damage and everything. So I do give kudos to him. My uncle said leading up to the storm, which is common, what they do a lot is they turn off the power, which is smart, because if you think you have the power on and it just goes off because of the storm, it can even lead to more destruction, more death. So to turn off the power leading up to the storm is good, because when these wires come down, they're live wires, right? So if you have people come out and try to, you know, escape or whatever, these live wires can electrocute you. So I do think that's a good move, a smart move. He said he have enough water that can last him, which is good. But even with all of that, he's by himself. I don't know if he can get to his medication. I don't know if any of the stored up water or anything he have, if those are compromised. So I've been talking to people in and around the area, friends that I know, family members, and no one knows nothing. So I'm saying all of this to, you know, to ask you if you know anybody in the Westmoreland area. If you can just leave me a comment, you can DM me on Instagram, because I just want to make sure he's okay. I'll be giving updates. Hopefully this helps, but I hope your family members are safe. I hope you're safe. And for those who, you know, I see all of the images, it's heartbreaking, but we just have to remain optimistic. And for those who don't, I know there are people who don't understand. I had this conversation with my kids not too long ago. They, you know, your mind just can't be wrapped around this is happening, this is real life. Just give us grace, give us time, because, you know, we're gonna come back from this. This is Jamaicans, this is who we are. We are resilient. We are known for going through those tough times and coming out on the other side and just being positive. So I choose to be positive, and I know he's going to reemerge one way or the other. But thank you so much, guys, for listening. Please share your stories, because this is a great way to connect and to just be there for one another. All right, bye.